Welcome to the living room. It's where we're learning how to live healthy, even though we're living in a toxic world. And tonight's subject is lessons in lecithin. So we're going to learn what it is, where it comes from, and how important it is for the body to have it. And as a matter of fact, it's one of those nutritionals that is a must-have, or I say, gotta have it. And so I titled Lecithin, the brain body food. Well, it's actually more than just brain food. It is food from the top of the head to the toes. And we're about to get started and find out why. Lecithin. What is lecithin? Lecithin is a fat-like substance known as phospholipids. Well, that sounds like a big old word, but it's just simply a fat, and it's a lipid. Whenever you see the word lipid, that means it's a fat, and sometimes it can be good fat or not so good fat. In this case, lecithin is a good fat, and it's a fat-like substance known as phospholipids, and it is an excellent source of the vitamin of choline and inositol. In other words, within that fat lipid, it contains some B vitamin cousins. They're not exactly B vitamins. There are 8 Bs, but they have some kissing cousins that work with them quite closely. And that is choline and inositol. As a matter of fact, the cell brain, which allows nutrients to leave or enter the cell, is largely composed of this amazing lipid, phospholipid called lecithin. Well, guess where lecithin is found in the food? Main source is eggs and egg yolks. So who was the brainy that said, don't eat the eggs? Or who was the brainy that says, if you do eat an egg, then only eat the white of the egg and not the yellow of the egg? It's because it's the lecithin is actually found in the yellow of the egg. It's also found in soybeans because its properties as it aids in absorption and utilization of fats and important of fat-containing vitamins by emulsifying them so that they carry everything as a fat-soluble nutrient into the cell and used by every single cell.
Yvonne, we don't see your screen.
Okay, so you're not seeing my screen. All right, I just got a thumbs up saying I did and was.
Vanessa doesn't either. She's in chat.
Oh, okay. Let me go out and come back again because, okay, participants can now see the screen. How about now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why it does that. I'm gonna have to figure out why it does that. All right, let's continue on. Thank you for letting me know that. So I didn't have to continue on without knowing that. Yay.
You gonna start over?
It's been recorded. So why is lecithin important? Well, lecithin is a type of fat found in every cell of our body. So that might constitute a little bit of importance. Lecithin, again, consists of other things besides that fat lipid, and it contains your B vitamins and your fatty acids. The entire human body needs lecithin. What? Yes, from the top of the head to the soles of the feet, your entire body needs lecithin. Your brain needs it, your liver needs it, your heart needs it. They need lecithin, not in small, itty bitty, teeny weeny, tiny amounts, but in large quantities. Wow. That's why they say you can have how many dozens of eggs every single day? Because your body is absorbing through the egg yolks that wonderful lecithin. Phosphorus is one of the essential building blocks of our bodies, and phosphorus makes up 1% of your entire body. So in other words, it contains phosphorus, it contains lipids, it contains the kissing cousins of the B vitamins, inositol and choline. Wow. And then It's especially critical for metabolism, the production of enzymes, and also other healthy blood, for healthy blood. Your body needs the right fatty acids for good cholesterol and other functions in the body. And phosphorus is found, among other things, in lecithin. Nowadays, our current diet, excuse me, does not contain enough lecithin. So our current diet does not contain enough lecithin in it, not unless you're eating dozens of eggs every day. So let's be clear about the benefits of lecithin. Let's start with wow, number one, fats. Okay, converting fats into energy. Well, wow, that might have something to do with weight loss, you think? If you're going to exercise and lose weight, you need lecithin to turn your abdominal fat and other fat into energy as it leaves the body. Wow. So lecithin plays a part in weight loss. It also improves learning and concentration. Now, I don't know about you, but we all need a little bit of boosting and improvement in that area. And whatever your profession, concentration, staying on task, staying focused is getting to be a task nowadays, right? And lecithin has been proven to improve this, and it improves memory also. Oops, I forgot this. Oops, I forgot that. You ever find yourself doing that? Well, lecithin can be one of the solutions for the brain for the memory. Why? Again, it's got those kissing cousin B vitamins and inositol choline. It's got those phospholipids in it, phosphorus in it. Well, look what else it can do. It can promote good, sound sleep. This is a win-win situation if you're suffering from even high cholesterol or poor sleep. So in other words, lecithin covers so many areas of health concerns in the body. It's conducive to pregnancy, helping to build, supplying a brain food for the developing child. And especially when you're pregnant and you have a tendency to eat, you're more conscious about what you're eating when you are pregnant. And so it's fast foods that actually take the lecithin out of the food. And so when you're cooking and when you're supplying your body with fresh fruits and vegetables and fresh beans, legumes, nuts, and things like that, then you're getting more lecithin into your diet that way. Benefits, more benefits of lecithin. Number 6, it promotes weight loss. We talked about that. Many weight loss products actually contain lecithin. If you go to the store and you find all these weight loss products, you're going to find a lot of them contain lecithin for this very reason, because again, lecithin is necessary to convert that weight fat loss into energy. And guess what? It protects the nerves. You feel a little unnervy lately? Well, lecithin protects the nerves. When they talk about how are you look like you're wired or your nerves are raw. Especially if you suffer from disease that has damaged your nerves, such as MS or Parkinson's, or a lot of autoimmune issues that have eaten the myelin sheath of your nerves. Lecithin comes in and helps to repair and restore that protective fat lipid coating on your nerves. Guess what else it does? It stimulates hormone balance. To function properly, your thyroid glands needs all kinds of substances. And one of them that's really important for the thyroid is lecithin, because it stimulates hormone systems. This one I really liked, and I was like, wow, I didn't know this, but lecithin literally takes toxins of heavy metals out of the body. Fatty acids and minerals and vitamins support your immune system also. So you're looking at, it can detox you, it can support your immune system, it converts fat into energy. Oh my goodness, it supports memory, it supports brain attention and focus, reduces abdominal fat. We talked about that, reduces menstrual complaints of PMS, the young ladies that are still in that season of life, helping them in that area. And how about, wow, what do you know? How about preventing gallstones? What? You mean lecithin can help your gallbladder? Yes, lecithin can help your gallbladder because lecithin affects cholesterol. It also helps protect the and prevent gallstones. And this is very important because gallstones, of course, can be a serious complication and create pancreatitis. It also helps to firm the skin. Yay, ladies and gentlemen. It's also a skin tighten to support flexibility and firmness in the skin. That's why a lot of skincare products have lecithin in them. Wow. So lecithin and cholesterol, let's talk about that for a minute. Lecithin enters the body only two ways: the food you consume or the body already making it itself. And a shortage of lecithin leads indirectly to an increase in cholesterol. What? Wow. A shortage of lecithin makes it easier for cholesterol to attach and become gummy and attach to the lining of the cardiovascular system and causing a problem and clogging those arteries. As a matter of fact, it is shown in evidence that it reduces the LDL, low density lipids, and actually could increase your HDL, which sometimes they say one is good and one is bad. I have a controversy with that, but if you're able to reduce the LDL and increase at the same time your HDL, and lecithin has the ability to do that. That's amazing. And so, are you getting enough lecithin? That is the question. Are we getting enough lecithin? Well, lecithin manufacturers and sources. Let's take a look at generally how lecithin is manufactured and sold. Lecithin is an umbrella term for any mixture of phospholipids and oil occurring in animals or plant or tissue. So the main areas that they get this oil from can be soy, or it can also be sunflower seed. But these fatty substances are extracted using hexane ethanol solvents. Now, this is pretty much the way most all oils are extracted in the manufacturing business. And I'm talking about salmon oil, omega-3 oils. I'm talking about any kind of fatty lipid, fat soluble nutrient. You're going to find that just as a cheap way of manufacturing and extracting these oils is using this hexane and ethylene gas solvents, and then added to foods and supplements. Common sources of lecithin is soybean, egg yolk, but it's just not cost effective to get the lecithin from an egg yolk. So most sources are, as you can see, sunflower, rapeseed oil. We don't want rapeseed oil because that's genetically modified, sunflower kernels, and so forth. So manufacturers produce soy lecithin by using chemical solvents. We saw that. But if you're going to do lecithin from soy, it needs to be organic soy. And then it needs to be cold pressed. None of these solvents used to extract these oils. So lecithin is approved for consumption by the FDA and the European regulatory bodies. Unlike soy powders, can be safely consumed by those. And what it's saying here is a lot of people that are allergic to soy are not allergic to lecithin because it, again, it's the oil part of the soy and not the protein part. So one of the highest sources we talked about is in that beautiful created egg. I can see Marlena smiling all the way from her farm. Deficiencies in this nutrient can lead to damage in the body. So what kind of damage are we talking about? Damage to the liver and the muscles. Damage, fatty liver disease could actually come from a deficiency of lecithin. How about neural tube defects and cardiovascular problems? Do you know what neural tube defects? Children are being born with neural tube defects today, and they have constant ear infections. As a matter of fact, lecithin is what actually promotes that vitamin A in the neural tube, that is the nutrient that's needed inside that neural tube to ward off infections. That is why vitamin A and lecithin works great in children for ear infections. The clinical trials showing that when lecithin is introduced in the body, it reduces homocysteine, which is the culprit to heart disease. It's the culprit to brain disease like Alzheimer's. Not cholesterol, it is actually homocysteine, because you're not calming down the inflammatory index and providing these amazing lipids and B vitamins that come together synergistically in that whole food form to address the issues in the body. So choline may also prevent and reduce inflammation, according to another review. So there's lots of research that's gone on about the power of lecithin and what it does for the human body. So let's take a look at some foods that are high in lecithin. We already know egg yolks. And like I said, who was the brainstorm that said egg yolks were bad for you? I don't know. Soybeans, whole grains, dairy, nuts and beans again, wheat germ oil, quinoa, broccoli and peas. And how about organ meats? Now, when's the last time you sat down to a plate of liver or brain or kidney? I don't know about you, but it's been a long time since I've had liver and onions. Or fish. Nigar says what? I love brain. Okay. So, and fish, fatty, cold water fish has lecithin in it, like cod and haddock and salmon. These are all very rich sources of lecithin. So we need to start incorporating them more into our daily diet because of, again, the expense of the egg yolk, the supplement industry or the food industry that uses lecithin usually get it from soy. Now, have you ever eaten chocolate? Guess what's in that chocolate bar? You'll turn around and see the label. It'll say soy lecithin. Yeah, and it's because it keeps that chocolate nice and smooth. For the last 20 years, the major source has been soy. But again, you want to make sure if you're going to eat that chocolate, you make sure that it's a dark chocolate and it's organic. So you know that the lecithin that's in it is going to be organic lecithin. So what are some more benefits? I love to camp out on the benefits. And lecithin supports normal cellular structure. We talked about that. That's cell membrane. And let's take a look at what it does for those who are exercise conscious. It prolongs exercise, reduce choline levels in some people. So in other words, when you are exercising for a length of time, your choline levels can actually drop. So you need to replenish those choline levels. And a good way to do that is through a non-GMO organic soy source. Also improving, they've shown in studies that it improves the capacity of performance during high intensity cardiovascular training, reduces perceived muscle soreness. How about lower the stress hormone cortisol levels? Anybody full of anxiety today, pop them a few of our magnesium and add a couple of lecithin to the picture too. How about attenuate exercise-induced stress? And it also helps to speed up post-workout recovery, and it increases glucose uptake into the muscle cells. And these are all studies that have been proven showing that its benefit while you are actually exercising, creating less soreness afterwards with the acid that builds up into your joints, and overall perception of well-being. And we've mentioned about cholesterol. Let's dig a little deeper into why lecithin actually does affect the cholesterol. Well, soy lecithin is known for its ability to improve blood lipid transport. Current evidence suggests that it may lower LDL and increase HDL, which is what you want. Why? Because its amazing ability to break down fats. And these are some studies that were done in 2010, published in medical journals, showing 20 subjects for hypocholesterolemia and taking 500 milligrams of soy lecithin daily. And the control group had 10 participants took a placebo pill. And they showed that soy lecithin reduced LDL cholesterol levels by 56%. This is one of the reasons why this is a low budget, high benefit supplement that you can add to someone who is struggling with their cholesterol issues. And by 42% within 2 months of a treatment. So it's not a one shot, one pill wonder. You've got to get these puppies in the body, circulating and transporting from the top of the head, okay, all the way through your body. As the researchers note, this supplement may increase. So this was also noted that in cholesterol synthesis, lowering triglycerides. So this again affects your glucose levels, and your triglycerides can actually be affected and lowered through this amazing nutrient called lecithin. How about your digestion? Didn't I talk earlier about your gallbladder? Does your gallbladder play a part in digestion? Well, yes. As a matter of fact, the gallbladder plays a major part in digesting fats. So digestion benefits. Let's take a look at some of those digestion benefits. If you have ulcerative colitis or other inflammatory bowel disorders, lecithin may relieve digestive distress. In one study, subjects who look at delayed release phospholipid choline, that's lecithin, formula had a reduction in inflammation activity. Another study showed scientists suggest that a lack of mucus phospholipid titled choline is one of the main pathogenic factors in ulcerative colitis. So soy lecithin may help replenish the phospholipid choline in rectal mucus and decrease inflammation, protecting gastrointestinal lining. Now that's a mouthful, but in other words, it plays a part in the soft tissue protection and protects it from inflammation. So it helps with digestion. Wow. So we're seeing all the benefits from taking a lecithin is quite amazing. Now let's take a look. Its detoxification properties. Have you ever heard of oil pulling? Where you put maybe coconut oil in your mouth and you just kind of slosh it around for 5, 10, 15 minutes, work up to 15 minutes a day. And it's actually emulsifying and it's bonding to bacteria. It's bonding to even fungus, bacteria, and even heavy metals, by the way. And it's as it bonds to it, then it pulls it out and you spit it out. Well, lecithin is a full body oil pulling activity. Wow. So as it goes in the body, it actually is pulling those heavy metals, pulling a lot of the fungus and candida. Did I say candida? I did say candida. And these mycotoxins out of the body. And lecithin, which is a more effective way of pulling out of the body. Why? Because it's a fat emulsifier. And then what happens is it deposits it in the stool where that heavy metal, where that candida needs to exit out of your body. This is amazing benefits. And this is why one gentleman, some of you may know, Mr. Cameron Weedle, actually got some great benefits through some joint issues that he was having by adding lecithin to his program, because he discovered that lecithin took care of the candida that was collecting in his joints and causing an issue. Can you imagine? Wow, that lecithin could play a part in detoxifying your body and helping you get rid of candida. So what are some of our benefits? How about brain boosting, maintain healthy cholesterol levels, support cellular repair inside the blood lipid levels of your cell membrane, decrease heart rate, and improve long-term memory. So the evidence that shows about the benefits of using lecithin is over long-term use and is quite amazing. Brain benefits, let's take a look. A breakthrough in study done in 1975 at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology found that a daily supply of lecithin improves brain chemical activity. In particular, they found that lecithin affected brain activities such as learning, processes, memory, motor coordination, sensory feedback, and sleep patterns. We can use these findings by concluding that lecithin improves all of these things, even affecting balance and movement. This is like, wow, for parents who have children that are suffering in some of these areas. This is quite amazing to help the next generation that has a lot of these issues. Also, in his textbook called Total Concentration, Dr. Levinson, a neurologist from New York, states that he frequently uses lecithin to help both attention and learning in his young patients. So this is awesome that physicians are catching on to food sources of nutrition that can be applied and show therapeutic benefits from the application. How about auditory processing problems in children and lecithin benefits? I actually found this information on an autistic website, and the lady had quite a bit of information. I couldn't obviously put everything onto this class, but I pulled what I felt was really important. One of the most exciting areas, again, was motor coordination, and exciting about the pathologists and parents telling of great improvement with their children. They're hearing, they're remembering. And what is so interesting is, and I want to really bring this out, what I have printed in bold, it says, but when taken along with essential fatty acids, that's your salmon oil, and the grain oils, what is that? That's your TRANN and your vitamin E. So in other words, you're producing a synergistic flow of fat solubles of lipids in the body that can benefit every single area of your body, especially in children who are struggling today. So when lecithin is combined with salmon oil, the TRANN, the vitamin E, The results are remarkable. Because of its fat emulsifying properties, it helps the child's body digest the extra oils. This is another issue with autistic children, is they have poor digestion. And so lecithin actually helps them digest the fats. So when somebody asks me, well, will this help my gallbladder? Yes. Will this help me digest fats? Yes. And you see it happening right here in children. Many children who have suffered with numerous ear infections, we talked about that, having them on regular amounts of lecithin, because the cilia of the ear are frequently damaged when many ear infections have occurred. And it is known that the highest concentrations of vitamin A in the whole body is in the cilia of the ear. That's why, again, if you have ear, sinus, ear, nose, and throat issues, vitamin A. And when you pair it up with lecithin, you've got a dynamite team. So lecithin increases the body's absorption of this vitamin A because they all work together as a family dramatically. Thus, it is very healing to the areas of the ear structure and the brain that affects efficient auditory process functioning. Wow. This is amazing benefits, especially hope for the families that are struggling with their children. 1975, the study showed by testing adult subjects and learning memory tasks, it was found that subjects had been taking lecithin daily showed improvement in thinking, in their IQ, their intelligence, since we know that the left hemisphere of the brain is responsible for the auditory storage, and we often refer to it as the thinking hemisphere. We can actually see how any substance that improves auditory process is going to actually improve every single process of thinking ability that the brain has to conduct. Wow. This MIT study also referred to a substantial improvement in the area of speech, left brain function. So in other words, when you positively affect the right side of the brain, you will actually send a message that is positive to the left side of the brain, and you're going to have left-right brain synergy and harmony, reduction of inflammation, and this is quite amazing. How about hyperactivity in children or adults? I'm sure you've heard, that person just has ADD, ADHD. Instead of going on psychotropic medications, why don't you try a salmon oil, a grain oil, and a vitamin E and lecithin? Feed your brain and your nervous system. So lecithin is very calming to the nervous system. Wow, says Dr. Bernard Rimland, director of the Center for Autism Research in San Diego. He is actually the author of the famous Fingold diet for children that are autistic. And he uses lecithin extensively in his practice as a supplemental program for any children suffering from hyperactivity. Why? Because the myelin sheath, the fatty covering that coats the nerve cell endings, is largely composed of, you got it, lecithin. And we often refer to children who are hyperactive as looking as though they are wired. Yes, they're raw, they're bare wired. And so like the zzz, all over the place. So in other words, you're helping to conduct those synapses and neurons to actually talk to one another kindly instead of angrily. We often refer to children, affected the breakdown of the fatty covering of the nerves. Lecithin serves to nourish the fatty sheaths covering these nerve fibers. In the book, Emotions and Your Health, here we go. Emotions and Your Health. It is stated that lecithin appears to calm hypomania. So again, somebody is out of control, hysterical, pop them a couple of salmon oil, some Super B, some lecithin, and maybe some magnesium. Calm them down, but don't forget the lecithin. And in this condition is heightened activity along with impulsivity and the endless energy that continues. At times, this seems out of control to the individual and often is accompanied by lack of need for much sleep. In other words, the person has already suffered a lack of sleep, which makes their nerves raw and puts them on heightened hyper alert. And so you're overreacting, over responding. Sound familiar? I'm sure you don't have a family member that has these issues. And so introduce them to some Neolife lecithin. And this describes children who are truly hyperactive. Lecithin can make a substantial difference when taken over a long period of time. Again, it's not a one pill wonder. You have to get these oils in your body, get them transporting, and let them do the work. Give it some time to do the work. But feeding the body, you'll never go wrong. You'll never regret it. What it needs to properly execute important nervous system functions, oh my goodness, the benefit is tremendous. Balance and motor coordination. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter used by the brain to regulate and control motor and sensory activities, says Carlson Wade, and he wrote the book on the power of lecithin. He also states that the use of lecithin is important in helping regenerate and revive sluggish brain cells. So if you need a little reviving in the brain, this is a way to get it. It appears to renew through processes. Wade also writes about informal studies done by family doctors who used lecithin to help their patients suffering from various motor disorders. Now, can you think of some autoimmune issues from motor disorders like MS or Parkinson's and some of these motor disorders? Absolutely. So lecithin, put that on the list. These doctors found an average of 30% improvement in the balance and the movement while taking lecithin. It was found that choline influences all nerve impulses, including the act of moving our eyes across the page. Oh my goodness. You get tired eyes and your eyes just don't want to move across the page when you're trying to read something. You need a little boost of lecithin to help the eyes glide across that page from left to right or right to left, depending on if you're Hebrew or a Gentile. Yay. Including because lecithin nourishes the fatty sheath covering the nerve fibers of the eyes. So here you see that lecithin is important for the eyes. Found to be very helpful in reducing involuntary movements. Have you ever heard of Tourette's syndrome? My heart breaks when I see a child with involuntary movements called Tourette's syndrome. But here's some hope. It's showing here that these are impulses and that it is also useful in a condition called Tourette's syndrome, but muscle weakness. As the neurological process is improved, nerve signals are influenced and weak muscles respond with greater strength. So in other words, once you positively affect one area of your body, it actually sends the message, we're okay, we're getting healed. So now we can come over and help you become okay and get healed also. Isn't that amazing how God created the human body to work together as a team to bring about wholeness, to bring about correcting and reviving and restoring and regenerating, renewing. Benefits of improvement. Lecithin has been reported by several dads. So then here, the dad said, hey, I'm seeing some good positive things happen in my children. So I think I might need some brain support here too. And they found an additional benefit called their receding hairline stopped and they started getting hair. Wow. So they started actually getting hair in their receding hairline. And this was actually reported in Adele Davis's book over 50 years ago when she talked about the importance of lecithin in children and their brain development. Wow. You can improve emotional health, boost thinking powers of the brain, improve memory, motor coordination by assuring that you and your children have an adequate amount of needed neurotransmitters available at all times. This is possible with the use of lecithin, the food your brain must have for total survival. We're so grateful, aren't we, to God for not only giving us wonderful foods to help our minds and bodies, but also for giving us the wisdom to know how to use these foods to help not only us, but to help the next generation, our children. So here, voila, introduced Neil Life Lecithin. You knew we were going to get there. So this is part of the label. It has vitamin E in it. It has some magnesium in it. Then we talk about vitamin E and magnesium. It also has a phosphatidylcholine, and then it has phosphatidylinositol. Both are from a non-GMO organic soy source that's been cold pressed and no chemicals have been used to extract this oil. But look how much you're getting. This is amazing. 175 milligrams and then 100 milligrams. That is quite amazing. And some of the other nutrients is gelatin, glycerin, soybean oil, beeswax, wheat germ oil. Wow. All goodness and all from whole food sources. So it's whole food based, derived from soybeans to fuel your brain, your mind with the purest, most concentrated phospholipid brain food available. Lecithin is 100% myo-inositol. That means that it turns quickly into energy, muscle sugar, the biological active form of lecithin. Remember when we saw that it helped with exercise and it helped with weight loss and actually turning the fat into energy? Wow. Here's multiple benefits we've learned today. That this lecithin has multiple benefits, supporting key brain functions, including memory, muscle control, assist in fat metabolism in the liver, helping to protect against fatty liver disease, pancreatitis, gallstones. Oh my goodness, as it's dispersed and transported throughout the body. Lecithin, the science behind lecithin is quite interesting, but lecithin contains high concentrations of two major nutrients, that phosphatidylcholine and phosphatidylinositol, which support primary brain functions. And Neolife's lecithin provides these critical components necessary for optimal function of cells and nerve tissue. Phosphatidylcholine is a biological precursor, we learned, to acetylcholine, which is brain neuron activity, a neurotransmitter. Acetylcholine is so critical to healthy brain function. Also, that if your body does not have enough lecithin to provide the brain for acetylcholine, it is so critical that your body will cannibalize itself, its own body tissue, to extract choline, building blocks that are necessary to keep your brain functioning. Folks, this is scary, but it's also good news to know that you can supplement and you can start eating some of the foods that are high in these amounts of lecithin. Lecithin's unique chemistry allows it to emulsify or disperse lipids, fats, and oils in water in the body. Lecithin contributes to lipotropic factors. Lipo meaning fat, tropic meaning loving. So in other words, it actually, as it pulls the unhealthy fats from the body, it actually can assist the liver in processing those fats so that they go out in your bowel movements and not recirculate and clog up your arteries or cause stones in your gallbladder. Wow. So it helps with the dispersing of the lipids and the fat and oils and water in the body. Lecithin contributes to lipotropic factors in the bloodstream. In water-based blood serum, choline and inositol aid in the stabilization of blood lipids, stabilizing your blood. And this is going to help cholesterol, it's going to help blood pressure, it's going to help every factor when you go to get your blood panel, your triglyceride levels, your glucose levels, all of those levels dispersing evenly in the blood. These lipotropic capabilities have given lecithin a mighty, mighty reputation in an anti-cholesterol nutrient. Now we know we need cholesterol, but we don't need oxidized cholesterol that causes the problem. So taking a look at the inositol in Neolife's lecithin, each serving contains 1,200 milligrams of pure soybean phospholipids, the purest and most concentrated raw material available. This pure lecithin consists of active phospholipids, choline and inositol, the two most important dietary contributors of the lipotropic factors and involved in nerve transmission. Added magnesium, wheat germ, natural vitamin E helps boost this nutrient. Remember when we said, when you add these other factors, it actually multiplies the power, like synergy effect of the lecithin when you add the vitamin E and when you add some of the other nutrients that they have added here, the wheat germ oil and the vitamin E, improve stability and prevent oxidation. Really important, because when I did this research, it was not a good thing what I found, that how they make their lecithin is kind of the byproduct of the soy industry, again, from GMO soy, and it's the rancid oils to begin with, and then they extract everything using chemicals. You don't want that. And you have that safety, trusted assurance that Neolife's company actually is a trusted source, that their source number one is pure, and their process to extract that oil is the best known process to deliver the most highest, purest, potent, and potential of lecithin in a capsule. So lecithin is brain food, anti-cholesterol nutrient. And remember, every cell needs lecithin. And the first lecithin was extracted from an egg yolk in 1850. In fact, the Greek word for egg is lekithos, and that's where you get the word lecithin from, is the Greek word for egg yolk. So here's the cell membrane, and you can actually see how much water floats around this cell. And yet there's a lipid layer that needs to be stable and needs to be transport in and out and in and out. Lecithin is crucially important nutrient found in every cell in the body. We've been talking about that over and over again. I didn't want you to miss that factor, especially as a major building block in cell membranes. Due to its unique chemistry, lecithin has natural emulsification properties, meaning it can disperse lipids, fats, or oils in water in the body. These lipid dispersing capabilities contribute to a host of critical biological functions that we've already talked about. So this is how it works. Miscibility. Now let's talk about, what do you mean that is able to disperse, transport. So how important are these oils to be miscible or water miscible? It's so important that the body naturally emulsifies fats in your digestion. And there's a process that the body goes through to emulsify those fats. Your gallbladder is involved, your liver is involved, and proteins are actually involved. And it's important for the distribution of these lipids in the body. It's important for the circulation of these lipids in the body. It's important for the transport that requires to be solubilized. In fact, fat lipids will not be transported to the brain, to the heart, to the lungs, to your colon and the areas that it needs to deliver the nutrient unless it is solubilized. Higher blood level concentrations. You want to have high blood level concentrations of this lecithin found in your blood. Why? Because it is an overall blood stabilizer. A substantial potency increase through assimilation. So you want to be able to assimilate at the cell level the milligrams, those 1,200 milligrams that are in that capsule, because the larger the molecule, the more that your cells will resist the absorption factor. So let's take a look at what Neolife has done to correct that issue with lecithin. The absorption of fat is a complicated process in the body. And fat always has to be paired up with a protein, and that's why it's called, and we talked about the liver and the gallbladder assisting that. And that is why it's called a lipoproteins, lipo fat combining with proteins. So fat-soluble vitamins are also transported through the circulatory system while being associated with protein. This is one reason why when you take your fat-soluble nutrients, you want to add a protein with it. This is real important. That's why I take my fat-soluble nutrients with a protein shake, because you want to take your fats with a source of protein, because that protein is going to bond with the lipids and actually carry it and help it when it's transition. A prerequisite for fat absorption is emulsification or miscibility, so that the fats can be taken up by the water containing systems of the body. Remember, you're 75% water. For circulation, enzymes and bile acids is coming out of the gallbladder, depositing into the liver, going into the gallbladder, are necessary to produce the required emulsifications. Now that's a lot to do. And I don't know about you, but not everybody's digestive system is working to optimum. And if you're over, now it's getting younger and younger, but if you're over 40, oh my goodness. So you need a little digestive help, right? So Neolife pioneered a technology, wow, called water miscibility. First, to manufacture, to recognize the scientifically researched fact that fats can be enhanced if they are water miscible. So what if you take those fats and you make them into a water miscible before you even put them in your body? So your gallbladder doesn't have to do a work, and your liver doesn't have to do any work. It's already water miscible. Once it enters the body, you just need to maybe take it with a little protein. Wow, what a genius thought. They were the first to introduce products featuring our unique water miscible technology. It's a unique blend. Natural emulsifiers used in this technology assist the body in the natural emulsification process that precedes absorption, circulation, and assimilation. Remember, it's not what you put in the body, it's what you assimilate. It's what lands inside the cell and delivers the health benefit that you're looking for. To further enhance absorption, take them with protein. We talked about that. For its metabolically active transport mechanism. This is why they actually put lecithin in homemade bread. because lecithin in homemade bread will actually allow that bread to last a little bit longer, become a little more buoyant, and actually even add to the flavor. So here are all Mealife's fat soluble nutrients, are water miscible. And at this point, I'm going to turn the laptop around and I'm going to show you a little illustration. Let's see if I can get this. Oh, as a matter of fact, hold on a second. I am going to take it off of stop share so that you can see better. How about that? There we go. Okay. All right. Does anybody know how I can get my okay. Oh, well. I did. All right. I'm going to go. All right. Can everybody see what's on the table? Let's see. All right. Can you see what's on the table? All right. I'm going to take some water, oops, and put in each one of these glasses. Number one, I want to say that the Pro Vitality Pack actually has 30 milligrams of lecithin already in the Pro Vitality Pack. Awesome. So I'm going to share that. And then I'm going to show you how each one of our I need a pair of scissors to snip. I'm going to take our vitamin E. This is our Neolife vitamin E. And I'm going to snip the vitamin E on the end. And I'm going to squirt it into the cup. Oops. Oh my goodness. I need a paper towel now. I got one right here. Okay. Now I'm going to take a tray and end. Thank you, sweetheart. And you can see this is the grain lipid oils here, the tray and end, the grain lipid oils. And I am going to snip the end of this and put it in to the water. Oh boy. I'll take that one too. And then I'm going to take a vitamin A. This is a vitamin A. Notice these are all fat soluble lipid nutrients. And I'm going to take this vitamin A, tiny, and I'm going to snip the end and squeeze it into the, okay. And then the last one is going to be lecithin. By the way, a little tip that I have, I make my own salad dressing and oil and water don't like to mix. So I take a lecithin capsule and I open it up just like I'm doing here. And I squeeze into my bottle of oil and vinegar or lemon juice, the lecithin. And when I do, it emulsifies and blends together. Okay, so I'm going to take the vitamin E, as you can see here. Let's see, if I go this way. I'm gonna stir this up and you can see this is the water miscible. Can everybody see it here? Water miscible, vitamin E, water miscible. That amazing technology. Here's the trenin. And the trenin is forming in little droplets. And it's moving around in little droplets, but you can see as you look at it, it actually is very, it's, what do I say? It's very liquidy. It's very liquidy in the water. And then the more you stir it, but you can see that the lipids are in the water here. And they're very, very, liquidy. Okay. And this one here was the vitamin A. And you can see how the vitamin A also, and mind you, vitamin A is coming from a fish oil. Oh, I didn't get a salmon, but I do have a salmon. I'm going to do a salmon. Okay, the trenin actually is 3 oils and a sterol is in there, but you can actually see it working to blend in with the water. Here is the lecithin. And it may take a little while to dissolve, but once it does, I'd go this way, it's odd. Once it starts dissolving, then it works its way as a transport in the body. As a matter of fact, I am going to do one more because I have a salmon oil. I forgot the salmon oil. I should have a pack of Pro Vitality in here. I'm going to pull out a salmon oil from the Pro Vitality pack. There we go. I'll take you later. And I'm actually going to open up a fish oil, a salmon oil, into the water. That's one healthy pair of scissors there. And you can actually see how even the fish oil is blending into little tiny droplets in the water. Can you see that it's blending into little tiny droplets in the water? Little tiny droplets. So actually, so you can see, here's the fish oil, the vitamin E, the trenin, you can see it's dissolving, the vitamin A, and then the lecithin is over here, and it's also dissolving in the water too. This is cold water, by the way. But you can see a demonstration of water miscible. Woohoo! That is the difference and what it's going to create inside the body. Wow. So you can actually see an illustration of how all these oils have this amazing technology called water miscible. So it can transport and get to where it needs to go. So it's a trusted source, it's a clean source. And not only is it a trusted clean source, but you're also going to be able to make sure that lecithin is going to get to the brain and it's going to get to the gallbladder, and it's going to get to the liver, and it's going to get to the skin, and it's going to get to the eyes, and it's going to get to every single part of your body, because you can see the difference. Wow. As it's water miscible. Wow. So what difference is that going to make when you're out there buying vitamin E or any kind of fat soluble nutrient? You're getting very little at the cell level. You're getting very little, and you're getting you're getting 100% of the toxin and very little of the nutrient. I'm going to say that one more time. You're getting 100% of the toxin and you're getting very little of the nutrient. So why not get 100% of the nutrient from a trusted source in the very beginning? Are there any questions? I'm opening it up for a Q&A. Anybody have a question?
I got a comment.
A comment. Wade is in the house. He's got a comment. Yay.
Taking all these water soluble things is like hugging yourself.
All right. Wade says taking water miscible fat soluble nutrients is like huggable yourself. Oh, wonderful. Anybody else? You have to unmute yourself. And if anybody wants to ask a question, just unmute. And we've got a room. I'll flip the computer around so everybody can see the room. Okay, Pam, you have to unmute yourself, hon.
Levon, I have a question.
Okay, hi, how are you?
Good, honey. Good, dear. My question is,
Awesome.
would it matter on those pills to take them in the morning or at night before you go to bed? Is there a difference? It sits in your body?
Yes. I love that question. That's a very good question. Okay, he's all right. He's asking the question of, does it matter if you take them in the morning or at night? I usually take the oils in the morning because of what I said about combining with protein. So you usually are not going to take a lot of protein before you go to bed.
Right.
So I usually oil up in the morning and then I mineral down at night.
Okay.
So that's an excellent, excellent question. Now, if you have children, you know, that you want them to take in the capsules to be, you can do what I just did, which is squeeze it into their breakfast, into their shake, or any of that, and on some yogurt or anything that can get that in them, and do it in the morning. And they will actually have a better day at school. As a matter of fact, I got a testimony that I'm going to have ask Vanessa to share her testimony along those lines, being specific about, you know, giving these oils and feeding the child, you know, these oils for the brain. So minerals will help you relax. And sometimes, so I say take those at night, because you can take those more on a less full stomach.
Sure.
But for fats, you need to take your fats with some protein.
That makes sense. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear.
Absolutely. Anybody else that have any other questions? And I'm gonna have Vanessa share a testimony.
Yvonne, I'm just real interested in what it can do for children, since we have a great grandchild with missing 13 mitochondria and her muscles just don't work. I just wonder if that would be a wise thing to put her on.
Not only wise, it would be a blessing. So, and on the bottle of the lecithin, it says 2 soft gels.
Yes.
So I would, how old is the child?
Oh, she's 4.
4. Then I would
But she
start
has-
with what's on the bottle, the two, and you may want to add a couple more, and add the salmon oil to that, the vitamin E to that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great. Thank you. This is a very good program.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Oh, look. Okay, Vanessa, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Vanessa.
Hello, everybody. Okay, these two are going to go to bed soon. Say hello, Cole.
Hello.
And there's Genevieve.
Everybody wave.
They are 5, and Genevieve just turned 4. And Cole was having some problems at school, and he couldn't focus and concentrate. And so we put him on the Neo-Life protocols because specifically they said that, you know, he was hyper, and they had wanted to put him on medications, pharmaceuticals, and I just could not agree with that. And so what we did was we got him on. He takes 2 salmon oil in the morning. He takes the children's, the Vita Square. He takes the Vita Guard. He takes the Vita V for children. He takes a Rest and Relax, just one of those. And he also takes some lecithin. It's all squeezed into a spoon. And he's able to just take, the other morning he was able to show me he's able to actually take them without me, squeezing them into the spoon so he can swallow. And he takes a vitamin D because you know, we've never kept them out of school, and we want to just make sure that they would stay as healthy as possible. And now the teachers are all saying that Cole is a joy. He has been what they call froggy of the week, which means he's been really good, paid attention, listened, and same thing with Genevieve, his little sister, who's 4. So it's worked wonderful. Okay, you guys say good night.
Good night.
Good night. Woohoo.
Wait,
How long y'all know stay awake? I'll show.
yeah, okay, wait, we're gonna finish. How long are we gonna stay awake?
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, because that's just the proof's in the pudding, and you know, making the difference. The difference is making the difference. And so there you have it, Pam Mueller. There's your testimony.
That's
And
great.
so just, you know, contact your children and say, this is a protocol and this is a menu that I'm going to recommend. What have you got to lose?
That's right.
Yeah, you got
Exactly.
everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose other than the symptoms.
Right.
And
Exactly.
the teachers now, Pam, the teachers enjoy Cole, and Cole really enjoys school. So it's a win-win, you know. And then on the natural side too, we took him off any kinds of cereal. So we don't do any cereal at all with him, whether it says organic or not.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my daughter-in-law, she has a 6-year-old, and he has a terrible temper issue, and he just doesn't get along with other kids even. So this would be great to calm him down.
Absolutely. Wow. Can you imagine that we could change the world and the next generation with some fat soluble nutrients?
Yeah.
I found though with the salmon oil and the lecithin, it helps Cole to be calmer. You know, when we got them, we had, Lord blessed us with the 2 of them about 2 years ago. When he was in school prior to that, it was really a nightmare. He stabbed somebody with a pencil, just some things that because of his temper. And, you know, just changing his diet and making sure he gets plenty of running outside and the supplements have just made a world of difference. I thank God for LaVon and for Tony just helping us through this whole navigating through this.
Absolutely. And you can see through time that this lecithin is emulsifying in the water. And again, does it work, Vanessa, for your salad dressing?
Absolutely. I make my own salad dressing all the time now.
And pop in 1 or 2, depending on how much salad dressing you make, 1 or 2, shake it up and it stays emulsified. And you're adding a lecithin, which is a good brain food nutrient. Because if you're buying salad dressing, you're getting lecithin, but it's GMO and it's rancid. Wow. All right.
Levon,
Well,
Levon, I heard that salad dressing, you could do olive oil too. Is that true?
yes, olive oil, vinegar, lemon juice, put your own spices in there, crush your garlic up, whatever you want, from rosemary to basil, any kind of, spices. Even you can even crush up some onion, and then put a couple of lecithin, pop the
Yeah.
top, squeeze it in there, shake
Sure.
it up.
Sure.
And it actually will help maintain the freshness if you keep it sitting on the countertop.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. Awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. All right. Anybody else have a comment before I stop the recording for tonight?
Levon, I have a question talking about children.
Yes. What did you say?
They could give some of this to the politicians.
Yeah, yes. A recommendation. What the White House needs some of this. Go ahead, Marlena.
Okay, if I have someone that their parents are contemplating having their tonsils and adenoids taken out, what suggestions would you suggest for them to avoid that?
Vitamin A and lecithin.
At
And if
what
it
age
can't-
can you start giving that?
Well, vitamin A deficiency is the defect that children are born with. So they're deficient at birth if there is a defect in the ear canal. So it can be because of the water miscible, just like you see here for the vitamin A, this is the vitamin A water miscible. So you can actually start them very early. I've had people tell me that almost within a couple of weeks of birth, they're squeezing some of the salmon oil into the child's mouth. So it's the same thing with the vitamin A, the vitamin E, and the lecithin. Is the child eating or still on breast milk or on bottle?
No, they're eating.
Okay, that's perfect. Then you can do exactly what Vanessa's doing.
Okay. So would you give them 2 a day on the lecithin as well, or 1?
I gave him 1 on the lecithin, but I
One
gave him
lecithin?
2. Yeah, but I gave him 2 on the salmon oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the vitamin A for the ears, you just squeeze 1 vitamin A and 1 lecithin.
And Marlena, the A really helped Cole because prior to us getting him, he had tubes, and he was at the doctor. He had tubes in both of his ears, and he was at the doctor's probably every other week because I would still meet the mom at the doctor's, and it was just terrible. It was terrible to watch him to have to do that all the time. And since this protocol, he's only been in 2 years. He's been to the doctor once, and that was because he got cat scratch fever.
Right.
It had nothing to do with his ears.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you all for that information. It's been great, Levon. I look forward to the recordings. I can share it.
Absolutely. Let me go up here and stop share. Recording.
Yeah, like Mary's grandson, but you know they're not gonna.
Thank you, Levon. I'll see you on Sunday.
We will, sweetheart. Absolutely.
Yeah, Levon, can you send me a copy, link to this video?